seconds away from kick-off this afternoon at the boys. Can hear you make the noise. They can hear you. Make some big noise for the boys this afternoon at Craven Park. Here come today's visitors, harliquins, RL.
Good afternoon everybody, welcome to Craven Park for round 15 Engage Super League tie between Kingston Rovers and the Harlequins RL. Harlequins taken to the field now in their away strip of blue and white, navy blue, baby blue that looks like to me, and white. Just run through their team for you. We've got Chris Melling, John Wells, Tony Clubb, David Howell and Ricky Sharif making up the back line. Scott Hill and Danny Orr at half back. Down to Matter, Chad Randall, Danny Ward, Michael Wincy, Henry Paul and John Maboo. As we're all being straight to the field, led by Captain Mick Vella. Full back for the Robins today, Sean Briscoe, Peter Fox, Chev Walker, Jake Webster and Daniel Fitzhenry. Paul Cooken making his debut for the Robins, new signing Michael Dobson at scrum half. Mick Vella, Ben Fisher, Garrett Crossman in the front row with Clint Newton, Stanley Jean and Scott Morrell in the back row. Subs for the Robins today, David Mills, Chris Chester, Ben Cockayne and Liam Watts. And on the bench for the Harlequins is Julian Rinaldi, Gareth Haggerty, John Grayson and Dwayne Barker. Joining me today, giving Mike a well-earned weekend off, is Mike's friend. I believe he did a sterling job. His name is Dave. Hello Dave Webber, how are you today? Looking forward to this as the Harlequins kick off?
Certainly am, Charlie. It's good to be doing the commentary again. Oh, high tackle straight away. Oh, how could that not be a penalty? Straight into this commentary straight away with blatant high tackle. Oh, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, well, it's what we've come to accustomed to now. Mr. Ganson did a decent job for us. Ben Fisher looks across the halfway line. Sprightly start for the Robins. As Paul Cook then brings in Clint. No, he doesn't. He goes himself with a dummy. A few tiny cracks already opening up in the Harlequins' defence, so hopefully the travelling they've had to do up from London will be a good thing for the Robins. As Dobson then brings in Vella. Good steady touch for Michael Dobson. His first touch of the ball for the Robins. And it's the last tackle for the Rovers. Very windy day today. I think the Robins have got it out their back to start the game. Looks like we might have some numbers out wide here. That's going to be an accidental offside, I think. Play on to the Harlequins, so that'll be a 0 tackle for them. Not the best finish to the set, but the Robins getting through that, and good defensive sets to start with as well from the Robins. Stanley Jean and Mick Vella in the tackle on that occasion. As former Rovers man Danny Ward brings the ball forward, he's been in decent form for the Harlequins by all account, but it's well wrapped up by Stanley Jean. As the first penalty of the game goes to the Harlequins. Referee Steve Ganson deciding there was a high tackle in there. He'd missed the one early on already. High tackle, a foot off the ground, Dave. Not what you normally see. Certainly when Jim Webster doesn't play for us anymore, he used to get high tackle, he was about a foot off the ground and it was nearly missing his head as well. So anyway, first penalty going to the Harlequins. And Danny Orr will put that into touch. You can see there that wind blowing quite heavily in Rovers' favour in this half, so they'll want to make that count, maybe some 40-20s or just get some points on the board, Dave.
Well, we're just looking for a solid display this week after last week's debacle. There's no other word for it. It was disastrous performance. So we're looking for a response here from Rovers, and they're getting stuck in straight away. It's been quite a solid first couple of minutes, apart from the silly penalty being given away. But as Charlie said, Mr. Ganson missed the high tackle done on the Rovers play straight from the first play of the ball. Harlequins now bring it into the Rovers half, making it up to the 35-metre line. One or two good signs for Rovers here. Getting stuck in, wrapping up the man and the ball for a change from last week. Be interested to see how Michael Dobson settles into the team, Charlie.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had a few first team games for Canberra Raiders this season, so that'll stand him in good stead. And of course he's been playing in the reserves for them as well, which is of a pretty decent standard as well. Peter Fox then looks to field the kick for the Robins and bring the ball out. Does well, just gets a few extra yards out of the ball just to give his forwards a little bit of a rest. It's Fitzhenry looking to do the same on the left wing. Ben Fisher will go to acting half then. That's 2 tackles for the Robins. Scott Morrell bringing in Briscoe. Briscoe took a knock last week, as he does most weeks, to be fair, as you can tell by looking at him. He certainly has been in the wars in his time. There's Dobson then looking to put a long kick in, and that's a decent kick as well. One of the strong points of his game, and he's got a few, so that's a good kick, and very good chase from the Robins as well. That's a good start. Good play from Michael Dobson. The Robins calling for a knock on, linesman having none of it. I think everyone but the linesman and the referee saw that one, so not too much animation from the east stand though, to be fair, so I don't think many of them saw it either. Well, apparently they did, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on this occasion, referee. But certainly a decent solid start from the Robins, first 4 or 5 minutes or so. As Dave was alluding to, it couldn't get much worse than last week's performance by all accounts. I wasn't there, but as the second decision of the day goes to the harliquins as well. I hope he's giving the decisions to the team playing against the wind and we get him in the second half, Dave.
Well, it would be nice if we don't mind referees being rubbish, but as long as they're rubbish for both sides. But last week, although some of the decisions did go against Rovers, 3 of the first 4 Huddersfield tried should never have. Well, if there'd been a video ref, they wouldn't have stood. Plain and simple. But Rovers were very much architects of their own downfall, and certainly this week we're looking for a good response here from Rovers. And the signs are there that. You know, they're getting stuck in, but again, 2 silly penalties and they're putting themselves under pressure again. Justin Morgan last week, he made big points about silly penalties being given away. We're just hoping that sooner or later it's going to stick in. Harlequins now pressurising the Rovers line on the 5 minute, going wide. Oh, knock on, thank goodness.
Yeah, the ball just a little bit behind the man there, just mistimed his run slightly, but Scott Hill, he's another fantastic player. He was of course a Melbourne Storm player a couple of seasons ago before he signed for the Harlequins, so he knows his way to a grand final or 2. He's certainly one we need to watch out for. Danny Orr has done the rounds in Super League, and again he's a consistent performer at half back. Without their top try scorer for the season, the Harlequins, in Matt Gaffer, as one of the Robins' top try scorers, brings the ball forward now. Been a bit quiet in the last couple of weeks. Not sure if he's maybe been nursing an injury or so. Certainly not looked like the Jake Webster we've seen at the earlier start of the season. The referee, I think, is giving play on there, so he must have deemed that the ball was ripped out by the Harlequins. So 3 men in the tackle. It was either a knock on or a penalty to the Robins, Dave.
I think it should have been a penalty. They certainly want to play on. It should have been a penalty to Robins. There's hands definitely in the tackle, but Robins now pushing up onto the 40 metre line. Ball goes out to Ben Fisher. Takes the tackle. More or less on the halfway line right now. Here comes Garrett Crossman. Makes a few more yards. Onto the 5th tackle. See what Cook does with the kick. It's a high one. Nick Villa chasing it up. Well taken. Good chase there from the Robins. Harlequins now with the ball on their 10 metre line. Mick Villa straight into the tackle there. Good to see the Robins wrapping up the man on the ball.
Substitution for Hulkinson Rovers, number 28.
Mick Villa again into the tackle. Could have been a slightly high one there from Clint. Mr. Ganson, well, if he's giving penalties for this, I hope it's going to be the same for both sides, Charlie.
Well, it hasn't been so far, Dave, has it? You're not telling me they haven't been offside or not square at the play of the ball so far this half? Certainly in the good old days, referees seem to favour the home side, but they seem to do the opposite now, so, well, when we're at home anyway. Well, like I say, since you're giving them a bit of a piggyback up the field and be feeling sorry for them that they got that wind in their face, quite a strong breeze. Well, certainly don't look to be doing anything great with the ball so far. Hopefully that's not the kiss of death for the Robins. But Rovers, I think you can tell the thing they've worked on the most this week in training is the covering the man and stopping the offload, because that's what really killed them against Huddersfield. There were signs of it in the Challenge Cup game against Huddersfield as well. They were getting the ball out with relative ease, really. It was just that the Rovers had more firepower on the day that day. Like I say, so far so good for the Robins. 0-0 at the moment. We've had just coming up to 9 minutes of the game. As Henry Paul brings the ball forward for the Harlequins. They've had an up and down season, much like the Robins, really. They've obviously given us a tonking at their place earlier on in the year. A very abject performance on that day, much like the Huddersfield one by all accounts. As the Robins then with Clint Newton. My player of the season so far, Clint Newton, I think. Ben Fisher's wrapped up in that tackle. Stanley Jean, they're all a mile offside, Mr. Ganson. They're all stood right next to you. It's not like they're not big enough for you to see, are they? Robins need to take advantage of the offside man and maybe slip a little inside pass or spread the ball out wide. That's when the mistakes start to come, and that's when the referee's got to hold his hand up, as he is doing now for the 5th tackle. And Paul Cook looking for the 40-20. He's going to get it as well. Oh, referee's deciding that's gone now dead, so that's going to be a 20 tap for the Harlequins. Just going the wrong side of the corner flag for the Robins, but as you can see, that wind, that's what the Robins need to be doing. Kicking the ball hard and low into the ground and just letting it spin off and trick the winger. Really is a difficult thing to catch, this rugby ball, when it's bouncing end on end. Certainly even harder when they got the wind on your side as well. The Robins got to make it count though, because you can bet your life that the Harlequins will adopt the same tactic in the second half. Very flat pass to Joe Mabou from hooker Chad Randall there. Rovers need to wrap the legs up. He's a big strong lad and he'll keep pumping those legs and pushing the yards forward. The Harlequins then going wide with Henry Paul. Well wrapped up there by Dobson and Webster. For one, I'm very excited about this signing of Michael Dobson. He's been one of the standout scrum halves in last season and the season before. Well, it was last season, wasn't it, Dave? Yeah, for both sides he played for. Seemed to slot into Wigan and Catalan sides with relative ease. He's showing, I suppose, the quality of the player himself.
Yeah, Michael Dobson possibly could be one of the final links in between Rose being a good team and being a great team, possibly. Certainly when he stepped in at Catalans for Stacey Jones, he didn't miss it. Oh, and Rovers finally have got an offside decision going their way. Paul Cook with a massive kick. Takes it right down to the Harlequins 30. What a penalty there from Paul Cook. Rovers now moving it up quickly. It seems to be moving up a notch here. Clint Newton, good run. Harlequins offside again. But great run there from Clint Newton. Takes it down to the Harlequins 25. Ben Fisher now. He's get behind the Rovers now. Out to Dobson. Jinks takes a tackle. Nick Vella now at dummy half. Out to Stanley Jean. Stanley Jean bursting through. Again, Harlequins offside again there. Michael Dobson now goes to right hand side. Paul Cook misses out. Chris Chester takes a tackle. It's the 5th tackle now. Rovers pressing the Harlequins line. Michael Dobson, little kick through. Oh, well taken. Good set of 6 there for Rovers, Charlie. If they can just follow it up now with a good defensive set, keep the Harlequins down here, get some pressure going, it'll be a good sign for things to come in this match, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Good set for the Robins on the back of that penalty. Getting to the kick, not the greatest of kicks, but I think we'll put that down to good play from the Harlequins fullback. It was well spotted by him and picked that up well. So the Robins then need to follow this up with a good defensive set, no penalties. We've seen Mr. Ganson's not going to be shy in giving them to the Harlequins, so you just got to make sure everything's by the book and not give him a chance to give them. So that's good for the Robins. Harlequins just crossing the 40 now on the last tackle. Danny Orr does well. The Harlequins looking to run the ball now. Joe Mabou, that's a mile forward. That's well spotted, Mr. Ganson. In fact, it was Michael Warranty, I think, not renowned for his passing of the ball. He's sort of a catch and run sort of bloke, I think. As we saw on that occasion, he decided not to run. Not very good at being onside, are they, so far? Do you know the rules? Yeah, Danny Ward with a bit of a swinging arm. Point to prove, of course, released by the Robins in the summer. Like I said earlier, he's apparently had a decent season so far for the Harlequins. Found a decent bit of form for them. As Cook then brings in Dobson. Stanley Jean running the dummy run, bringing in Briscoe. Good quick hands from Michael Dobson, that's good to see. As well wrapped up by the square marker. I think the fact they had to step over a Harlequins player before he was tackled is a bit of a shame, and something the referees I think need to pull up, because they don't seem to get out of the way too quickly, these tacklers nowadays. Like we said earlier, as long as it's consistent, it's one rule for one and the same rule for everyone else. That's a great kick. Oh, that's unlucky. That's a great kick from Michael Dobson and a great chase from Fitzhenry. So as I said, Dave, he slotted into his last two Super League teams. Well, he seems to be doing all right this half already. Not put a foot wrong really. He's just running simple lines, putting simple passes in, and not scared to put a kick or two in either. Confident lad.
Certainly looking good is Michael Dobson so far, certainly from the opening 10-15 minutes. Some good little touches, a great kick there, which I think if any other day, I think Fitzhenry might have just been on the end of it. Harlequins now taking the time over the dropout, and it's about time we had referees sorting this sort of thing out. Huddersfield were doing it last week and in the cup match. Harlequins doing the same thing. It's gone right out on the full. Serves them right really for taking so long over it. Rovers now with a great opportunity here to put some pressure on, maybe get some points on the board. But yeah, Michael Dobson, when he went to Catalans, fitted in really well. They hardly missed Stacey Jones when he was in the side, and then we all know what he did at Wigan. Wigan had won, I think, 4 games the whole season, and then they get Michael Dobson. He plays in 11 of their last 14 and they win 10 of them. So hopefully, if he can have the same effect on the Robins, we could be in for a great second half of the season.
Yeah, Dobson on the ball now. There's the difference between relegation for Wigan and they stayed up that season, of course, having their points deduction on top of their already weak start to the season. Chev Walker, he's one that's coming for a bit of criticism over recent weeks as well. Another one I think, as far as I'm concerned, it seems to have been playing with an injury for me. That's a good tackle. A few oohs from the crowd, but I think that was just because it was going to, they felt it up there, I think. As Dobson tries another kick, that's unlucky, and again well fielded by the Harlequins player. Maybe some little kicks to the corner in the air might trouble them a bit more. Put a couple of short kicks in and Rovers were all offside then, but Mr Ganson happy to let them get away with it on that occasion. But then next time they do it, he'll pull them up for it, so what can you expect the players to do when they don't know whether they're going to get done or not? That's the difficulty it is for a player these days. You do one thing, get penalised, and then 2 minutes later you don't, so it's awkward. That's a good hit from Stanley Jean. I don't know whether he said something to him earlier in the day, but he didn't like him, and give him a good clatter for his money. For the game then. Both teams coming up really fast from the play of the ball. It's right on the halfway now. 15 minutes gone, the Harlequins on the last tackle. And that wind really is a strong wind. Rovers really need to get some points on the board this half if they're gonna make something of this game for me. And surely he's held. As Fitzhenry then looking to bring the ball out for the Robins. With well wrapped up by Warinsey and Henry Paul. Ben Fisher brings in Garrett Crossman. Rare start for Garrett Crossman today. He's one I think that goes unnoticed there. As Dobson looking for a 40-20. And again that's just going to go the wrong side of the corner flag. They maybe want to just try and tighten those angles up a bit because they don't need to put it right down to the corner flag. So maybe aim for the 10 or the 15 yard line. And just to get the ball back. Decent tactics anyway, making Harlequins bring the ball out from their 20. You can see already they're looking a bit disjointed in attack and they look very tired. Which is why the Robins need to get some points on the board and really put the game to bed by half time if they can. You can guarantee that the Harlequins will come back at them in the second half. They've got a fair bit of pace in the back line with Wells and Sharif. And of course the half-backs as well. Former Robin Dwayne Barker on the bench for the Harlequins today, getting a rare run out for them. Rewarded for 2 good seasons in National League 1 with both Castleford and Hull Kingston Rovers, getting a contract for the Harlequins this season. And again, the last tackle for the Harlequins, not making much ground this time either. Danny Orr's going to run again. Briscoe does really well, gets his hand in the way, but the Robins have got to be aware of that. That's twice that's happened now on the last tackle. You can expect a side when they're playing into such a wind that they are going to try and run it on the last tackle. So if you're going to chase the man and try and charge a kick down, maybe a couple of you need to do it in case he steps one of you.
And again, great play there from Briscoe. If anything, he's been a better signing from the team that we don't like to talk about than what Paul Cook has in many ways. Very, very solid in defence, Briscoe. But Harlequins now got the chance now to put some pressure on Rovers, taking it down to more or less the 12-metre line there. Playing it out wide. Harlequins, as Charlie mentioned earlier, got Matt Gaffer on the sidelines, not playing today, which is probably a very good thing for Rovers, I think, because he has been very prolific so far this season. But the Quins are in. Well worked try that. Rovers defence just stretched it just too far that time, coming on the back of a second set of 6 on the trot. Michael Warrency just going in there, just at 5 yards at one side of the
Try
troops.
Harlequins in the 19th minute, scored by number 27, Michael Warrency.
Rovers really do have to start tightening up on the defence. There's one thing Justin Morgan absolutely went balmy about last week, apparently. He went around each player in turn in the dressing room. The only player to apparently escape it was Scott Morrell. He went around each player in turn and ripped them apart for the display last week. And you just start hoping that those words will start sinking in. We're looking to have a full 80 minutes from the Rovers. But although there's been little signs, Michael Dobson looking quite good. There's been kicks through, which just gone the wrong side for Rovers in our case, but again the defence there just was outstretched. That shows you the power of the wind. Straightforward conversion attempt. Looked as though it was going to go straight through the middle of the sticks, just literally the wind's just gusted it away from the post.
Yeah, the Robins looking to get away with that one, I think, with a kick, so like you say, showing how strong that wind is. I'd like to put that try down to good handling, I think, from Henry Paul and Danny Orr. Henry Paul passed the ball virtually as he caught it and really did catch the Robins defence out, so defence has been decent up to now. Let's just hope that they can back it up again now and keep the Harlequins out. Like we said, we need to get the Robins on the board with the wind in their favour, really. Don't always play into your advantage, of course, if you don't have the kicking game, but the Robins with Dobson and Cook should be getting those balls down deep and pressing the Harlequins for 40-20s. As we've seen, the Harlequins have found it difficult to come out of their own half, and but for an error from Sean Briscoe, the Robins would have got that ball back. So, well, I say an error, it was a try-saving interception, really. So we won't really put it down as it'll go down as a knock-on, but as Warrency trying to offload there. Eastham thinking that was a knock-on, but the referee deciding that's the last tackle for the Harlequins. But again, good chasing from Stanley Jean and good defence. Ooh, Sean Briscoe, safe as houses. He didn't drop it though, did he, to be fair? Eastham just getting a bit frustrated with the referee and the Harlequins players now. You can't really knock the Harlequins players as long as the referee lets them get away with it. You push it as far as they will, I think. As Liam Watts now replacing Garrett Crossman, getting his first taste of Craven Park action in the Super League. Clint Young drives those legs to the halfway line. Just short the halfway line. Good defence from the Harlequins eventually. And the Robins getting a penalty. Warrency messing about to play the ball. Paul Cook will put this one into touch. And he'll put it right into touch as well, about 5-10 metres from the try line. I thought it went a bit further than that linesman, but it's not easy for them to spot, really, is it, from there? There's Liam Watts then. That's a good drive. Good first drive from Watts.
Substitution for Harlequins, number 16, Gareth Haggerty.
Yeah, it's Liam Watts, sorry, I thought that was him.
17.
Dobson then looks to bring in Villa on the inside. We'll just need to be careful spinning these long passes out with this wind, because it's good offload from Watts. I think Fisher needed to do the same then, because the Rovers had an overlap on the left then. Harlequins have got back in numbers to cover now. Dobson brings in Jake Webster. That's a good pass. Seems to have a very decent pass on him as well as Dobson at both left and right, which is good. Webster's hurt himself in that tackle, which isn't a good sign. Rovers just a bit flat at the moment. I think just easing Dobson into the game, but I think they need to maybe get him out at second man and give Paul Cook a bit of a go there. As that's an interesting kick across field. All on, says the referee. Harlequins have taken that one. That'll be the first tackle for them. But that's a different kick. It's not something we see a lot. We've seen a lot with the previous halfbacks for the Robins. It's nice to see a bit of variation in the kicking, and not just Paul Cook putting those kicks in as well. As again, then Quins RL bringing the ball forward to their own 20. Bit low scoring affair so far. We've got about 15-16 minutes left on the clock in the first half. Just the one try to Michael Warranty for the Harlequins. Somewhat against the run of play really, because they've been penned back in their own half for much of the game. Robins not being able to make that count though. And that's a good kick from Scott Hill. As Briscoe then brings the ball forward for the Robins, does well. I think he's probably held there, so what they're doing hanging onto his neck, I don't know. Not that they should be hanging onto his neck anyway. That's Peter Fox then. Oh, I think he'd have gone all the way. That's a good leg drive from him. And Fitzhenry looking to do the same. But he's well tackled. Good offload though to Ben Fisher. Jake Webster still looking a bit sheepish out on that wing there, just having a breather. Fitzhenry trying to take advantage of the quick play of the ball. He's well tackled again by Warren. So he's getting through a fair bit of work. There's a good offload from Mike Vella, and Liam Watts then bringing the ball forward for the Robins. Another good offload. Sean Briscoe does well, holds on to the ball. Dobson for the Robins. That's a great run and a great try. Well, that's maybe what we've been missing in the last season or so. As good as James Webster's been for the Robins, is just that little extra hitch kick and a turn of pace is what we've been missing. So great start to the game for Michael Dobson.
Brilliant try from Michael Dobson. Something Rovers have been missing. It's just that bit of devilment. He saw the gap, saw the dummy, and the acceleration. Michael Dobson there, brilliant. Took it straight across the try line. Great try.
Debut try for the debut man, number 26, Michael Dobson.
Great try from Michael Dobson. That Paul Cook with not an easy kick at all, not an easy conversion attempt at all. About 5-6 metres in from the touchline, on the 22 metre line. With this wind, I should think Cookie will try and bend it in.
This won't be an easy kick, I don't think, Dave. Even with the wind at your back, it's still a difficult one to get hold of. Like I said, the wind, I think it's more blowing from one corner to another, to be honest, than just straight down the field. But in the favour of Paul Cook on this side of the pitch, so we'll see how he goes. It's on the right side for the right-footed kicker. He's got Chris Chester holding the ball for him as well. And the East End will tell you that one wasn't very successful at all, so there's stalemate at the moment. One try apiece. Michael Warrensey and Michael Dobson score at 4-4 at the moment, so 12-13 minutes left of the first half. That's better from the Robins, a bit more go forward and a bit better attacking. So as we said, pretty decent start from the Robins. Just a few more points on the board wouldn't go amiss. The Harlequins then will start the game with Chad Randall. I think he's taking so long, he should be off the field, to be honest, because it's not really playing in Rovers' favour, having to wait for Danny Orr to be strapped up. Hopefully he's covered his ears up so he won't be able to hear the calls from his teammates as well. So expect this one to not go very far. That's a decent kick, to be fair. As Chester then brings in Bravella.
Substitution for Harlequins, number 20, John Gratian.
Well tackled by Henry Paul.
Number 8, Carl Timata.
Fisher just looking for the offload. I think he was right in keeping hold of the ball on that occasion. Dobson again looking to bring the ball forward. He's well wrapped up by a duo of Harlequin tacklers. It's Clint Newton then, looking to bust through over the halfway line, and does so. Just reaches the halfway line with his head. Ben Fisher brings in Liam Watts again. He's looked impressive for me since he's come on. Not seen him play in the academy, and he's been getting rave reviews. Played well at Workington by all accounts, but he's certainly a big lad and seems to carry it well. As that ball goes dead from Michael Dobson, but like we said earlier, not a bad tactic in this weather. Just make the Harlequins work back and bring the ball out from their own half. Hopefully they'll take a lot of the legs in the first half, and they won't be able to take advantage of the wind in the second half. As the Robins, 3 men in the tackle on that occasion, bringing down the player in the middle of the park. And another strong tackle. That's the second for the Harlequins, just crossing their own 30-metre line. As Ricky Sharif looks to give his forwards a bit of a rest and makes an extra 5 or 6 yards. That's certainly a very flat pass from the hooker there, something we've become accustomed to in Super League these days though. If it's not a screaming forward pass by 5 or 6 yards, then it doesn't count these days, unfortunately. Referee Ganson deciding that knock-on went backwards as Mellon brings the ball forward. Getting away with that one, the Harlequins. Danny Orr, I think, just a bit dazed from his earlier knock. Peter Fox fills the ball well. Close to a voluntary tackle, that one. Anyway, did well in the end. Not always easy to field the ball from a kick when the wind's so much in your favour as well. It can drag the ball away from you, so you really have to be on your game and concentrate. Expect a couple more drives and a kick from Dobson or Cook in this set, I think. Ben Fisher putting one down the middle. That's not bad. Noticing the fullback wasn't at home. That's a very good kick from Ben Fisher. The Robins need to make the chase count though, otherwise the kick will be to no avail. They seem to have done that. That's a good chase from the Robins. Well brought out by John Wells. There's a few Harlequins players in the Robins defensive line. A bit slow to get back. As we just get into the last 10 minutes of the first half by my watch, but not read anything into that because it was only £3 off eBay, so it could very well be wrong. The Harlequins then. That's a good hit from Chev Walker. That's a great tackle on a prop forward, and he didn't like it either. Sulky face getting up and playing the ball there. Number 16. Gareth Haggerty, I remember his dad when he played for St Helens. He's a whinging get and all. So a great tackle from Chev Walker, that's what you want to see. If a player gets up and says that didn't hurt me, you know it did.
It was a great hit there from Chevy. As we've alluded to earlier on in the commentary, he's come in for a lot of criticism recently, but when you come to think that he was playing the other Kurd for 12 months, he's been injured, you know, you've got to give him a bit of time and chance to settle down and settle into this team. I mean, he's still come up with the tries, and like I said, it's a general thing for Rovers. It's basically a brand new side from last year, and it's still, I think they're still bedding in even now. Good tackle there from the Harlequins, pushing Liam Watts back there. Out to Michael Dobson. Good kick. It's going up again. Full back. Needs the chaser from the Robins. It's not a bad chase that. Tackled on the 30-metre line.
I think what I like about Michael Dobson as well, it's not that he's a type of player. You get different types of halfbacks. You get some that can kick and some that can't. But he seems to be a player that wants to kick as soon as he can as well, which is a good thing. And he wants to kick the ball. He doesn't just kick because he has to. A lot of halfbacks you see these days, that's a good ball from Scott Hill. That's a terrible ball. Well, the Robins not getting any advantage from that 5-mile forward pass on that occasion. Mr. Ganson nearly caught that himself as David Mills then, bringing the ball forward against his former team. As I was saying, a lot of halfbacks kick the ball out of necessity rather than really wanting to kick the ball, and Michael Dobson seems to be the type of player that uses it as a weapon, and that can only be good for the Robins. Jake Webster seems to have shaken off that knock he took earlier on in the first half, in the half rather. Dobson really wants to get involved at the minute, so that's brilliant to see. Great hands from the Robins, inside. What's that? That's an interesting kick from Clint Newton. Kane's on the field. So that's good play from Clint Newton in the end. I think he could have been better safe maybe running that one and bringing in Chev Walker on the inside, because there was extra men there. But like I say, Dobson really looks like he wants to get involved on this one. As the Harlequins again slowing the game down. This is something that, how it can be a good thing in the game, I don't know. The referee stops the clock, which is all well and good, but it takes the impetus off the team that's just forcing the dropout. Means that you're trying to make the other team attack and bring the ball out as soon as they can. I just think it's a rule that before long we'll see changed in my eyes. I don't think that'll be the way they move forward next season, to be honest. Benke Kane spots a gap. Escaping a ban this week in the oh, that's unlucky. I don't think that player knew much about that until I actually hit him on the arm. Otherwise Briscoe was off under the post. But again, good chance from Dobson. Seen a lot of him, which can only be a good thing. With both teams then looking to see the half out. We've got about 5 minutes or so.
The owner of a silver BMW registration number M15.
No, that's not my BMW.
CDB.
I'm just listening out for the registration of the BMW there.
The owner of a silver BMW M15TDB. Please call at reception. Thank you very much.
It's not mine, Dave. My silver BMW is actually a Blue Rover, so it wasn't mine. There's a bounce. Just tricks Briscoe, but he'll bring that back. And like you say, the ball just holding itself up there and making the chase a bit easy for the attacking side against the wind. Stanley Jean in his blue boots brings the ball forward, shrugs off Danny Orr like he wasn't even there. Yeah, you tackle me, I'll tackle you back. David Mills then brings the ball forward. Good tackle though from Chad Randall. Round the legs, that's how you're supposed to bring a big man like him down. There's no point going up top because he's an absolute monster. And Chev Walker didn't really have much to do with that ball then. He gets the ball away, he's done well. Peter Fox. Yeah, didn't have much of a chance then. He was tackled as he caught the ball, but did well to get it away in the end. I like Dobson's little jump into the tackle. As soon as he gets the ball, it's difficult for people to defend against, because if his legs are in the air, you don't know which way they're going to go when they hit the ground, Dave, do you?
Good kick there from Paul Cook. Oh, Fox goes through. Knock on from Fox. Did well to even attempt to catch that. I think there might have just been a swinging arm in there. Peter Fox looking a bit groggy. Good tackle from Chester. Harlequins looking to bring this ball away from their 15-metre line. Benke Kane straight in. Yeah, Benke Kane, who was up on a disciplinary for retaliating to 4 or 5 punches sent in his direction by the Huddersfield players last week, right in front of the referee. In fact, Benke Kane was looking around at the referee saying, "What do I do?" And eventually he did retaliate. He eventually retaliated, but fortunately for him, the knock on there from the Harlequins. Ben Fisher just going in to make sure, and I think we've got a bit of handbags going on here. Jake Webster going into Ben Fisher's defence, and we've got a general little bit of a melee, a bit of handbags, nothing too much to worry about. Mr. Ganson stepping in, splitting them up, calling over Jake Webster. Oh, he's sending Jake Webster to the sin bin. What was that for? Is he going to do the same to the Harlequins player? No. Well, what a surprise. We're going about this week after week. Referees not giving Rovers anything at all.
You know what, Dave? If he'd have sent one of the Harlequins players to the bin, then I would have been absolutely fine with that. Because I think Jake Webster was a bit overzealous in his reaction to come running in like that. And I think if he'd have sent a Harlequins player to the bin as well, that'd have probably been the right decision. But as it is, like you say, Harlequins knocked the ball on. I think Ben Fisher was he was sort of committed to tackling the player and just sort of stumbled over him and couldn't get his foot in. He didn't throw any punches, he didn't hit him, or I don't know. It gets them back up the field though, doesn't it, Dave? So the Harlequins looking to see this half out and the beginning of the second half with an extra man on the field. But I think, like I say, I think it was the right decision to put Jake Webster in the bin because he came flying in, but so did number 16 Gareth Haggerty come flying in, so why wasn't he taking the same breather as Webster? Only time will tell if we see a decision go the Robins way. At the rub of the green with Mr Ganson in Cardiff, of course, so maybe he's trying to make up for that. That's a good play again from the Robins. Missed tackle in the middle there. But piggybacks up the field on the back of a penalty that shouldn't have been. And the Harlequins are going to probably go in at half time with the lead.
Harlequins making the most of the fact that Rovers are just down to 12 men. More or less on the stroke of half time there. A decent try, it was good handling, stretched the Rovers defence. Straight in, just to the side of the post. But Jake Webster, there was no punches thrown, it was handbags. He came in from a long way away, so he goes to the sin bin, but he should have done the same to the Harlequins player. Come to expect nothing more from referees. We keep going on and on about them this season, but you can't help it sometimes, Charlie.
Absolutely not. Like we say, it's a bugbear of mine and Mike's when he's here. God bless him. I know he's not dead, is he? He's just over in the East Stand. It's a bugbear of mine and Mike's as well. We just want consistency, whether they're consistently bad or consistently good. As Henry Paul pushes that one wide. You don't mind if they're rubbish or they're good. It doesn't really matter either way, as long as they're the same for both teams. So Rovers not getting the rub of it this half so far. Walcott looking for a quick kick-off, but I think it's probably a bit too late now. I'll make it about 30 seconds left until half-time, so maybe look to get this one into touch and pat the scrum down as fast as he can. I don't think he'll do it with that. As Howell then runs the ball backwards for the Harlequins and loses himself about 15 metres. But that should probably about do it for half-time, I think. So the Harlequins are going to go in as it stands 8 points to 4 in the lead. And you've got to say, against the run of play and certainly against the wind, so the Robins are going to have some work to do in the second half. Attempted a few 40-20s early on in the game and just not coming off for them. Take nothing away from Harlequins, they've done what they've had to do on the back of some help from the referee in my eyes, but then I am slightly biased. Just a little bit, yeah. With Haggerty, that's a good offload, but that's well spotted from Clint Newton. Came out with one tackle to make a tackle on Scott Hill. He's the man that's really pulled the strings for the Harlequins. As Rinaldi, mop-headed Rinaldi comes to the field for the Harlequins. Like you said, Scott Hill's been the one that's really pulled the strings for them.
Replacing number 9, Chad Randall.
We're into stoppage time for me. So as long as the referee's happy or the announcer's happy. Yeah, to be fair, we've had a couple of dropouts for Harlequins, so we've got about another 25 minutes of the half to play, I think. Chev Walker, if he could have just got that one away to Michael Dobson. He's made some decent yards. Stanley Jean then. Played a full half for Stanley, so he's done well. How that wasn't a grapple tackle is something I'd like to ask Mr Ganson. I don't think I will though, because I might swear at him. As the Robins then looking to run. Clint Newton brings it onside. Oh, that was unlucky. Dobson with a little chip over there and just a blind pass inside. Just didn't go to hand for him, but I think I'm very happy with what I've seen so far from Michael Dobson as there the Hunter goes. Rovers finishing on a high really, but for the try. Mr Ganson getting a good reception from the East and West stands alike. As half time then we're going 8 points to 4, the Harlequins lead.
Half-time score here at Craven Park. Hawkins and Rovers 4, Harlequins 8.
Welcome back everybody for the second half.
40 minutes in Craven Park, let's make some noise!
The Robins prepare to make themselves out to the field. Half-time score at Craven Park then is Hulkingston Rovers 4, the Harlequins RL 8. Somewhat against the underplay in the first half, the Robins with a very strong wind at their back, just not really able to make it pay. Two decent tries for the Harlequins, good handling from them on both occasions, and a solo effort from Michael Dobson at the other end on his debut for the Robins. He's looked good in the first half, so plenty of decent signs for the Rovers, just need to be a bit tighter on their own line in defence. Paul Cook then is going to kick this one for the Robins into this strong wind. We'll see what the Harlequins can do with it. Robins didn't pull any 40-20s off in the first half, but they certainly kept the Harlequins camped down in their own half for much of the game. Really only attacking on 2 or 3 occasions and scoring on 2 of those, Dave, so let's see what this second half brings.
Well, hopefully for us, we'll put in a great 40 minutes, get my teeth in. Rovers starting this half, still down to 12 men with Jake Webster still in the sin bin. Harlequins now just bringing it up. Oh, Chris Chester straight onto that ball. Great pick up there by Chris Chester. Fisher out to Mills. Good run from Mills. Takes it down to the 12-metre line. Ben Fisher waiting at dummy half. Sends it out to Cook. Out to Dobson. To Sandra Jean. Takes it over the 10-metre line. Dobson to Cook. Cook going for it. Nobody there. Yes! Great try. Well worked there from Rovers.
Great try from Chris Chester. Absolute mile forward the final pass from Paul Cook, but hey, if you can't beat them, join them, Dave. That's what I say.
Absolutely. We'll take it. We're not going to complain about it. Definitely not. It was well worked move there from Rovers. Paul Cook straightened up the line, went through the gap. Fortunately, Chris Chester was following up, and as we've just alluded to there, the pass was probably a little bit forward, maybe. Or if we're going to do our best, Steve and Eddie Hemmings, it was momentum.
Hulkingston Rovers in the 42nd minute, sponsored by Rovers Ramsey.
Well, under normal conditions, would be a straightforward conversion, but with this wind in his face, who knows where this ball will end up.
Yeah, so we're saying then with this wind against the Robins in this half, that you couldn't ask for a better start. As I was just saying to you, Dave, off mic, it can sometimes work in your favour if you've got good passes of the ball, because you can really spin that ball out when it's like this and use the wind to your advantage. So the ball kicks the first conversion of the day and pushes the Robins into a 10-8 lead. So far so good in the second half for the Rovers.
And the 2 points for Hulkingston Rovers. The score is sponsored by Loix TSB. Number 6, Paul Cook.
Expect a hard low kick off from the Harlequins. Well, if I was kicking it, it would be anyway, so that's because I can't kick. So I'll try to kick it in the air, but end up on the floor. I'm alright. I'll just polish off my Bovril from half time. Thank you very much, Hulkingston Rovers. Danny O. Briscoe does well, takes that with his shins. Oh! And that's a swinging arm, surely, from Tomato. Or is it Haggerty again? No, I'll have a word. He said, I knew your dad, he was an alright bloke. Some people didn't like him on the pitch, but I've seen exactly what you've done there, and I'm going to put it on report, alright, so that we don't lose a man this half. Absolutely no good to the Robins whatsoever if he gets taken out for the next 2 or 3 games, is it, Dave? This report rule, I always thought it was for if the referee wasn't quite sure what had happened. He's right in front of him, he's given the penalty for a high tackle. Like I say, he's on report, he'll get 2 matches on Tuesday, which benefits the Robins absolutely 0. But at least he's give us a penalty anyway this half. Stanley Jean, and he'll bring the ball in. And he'll just shrug Henry Paul off like 2 old men going at each other in their wheelchairs. And the Zimmer frames. changes stories about the war. As the Robins look fired up this half. Of course, still down to 12 men. Ben Kane. He won't mind if it gets a bit scrappy and a bit fiery. That's what he loves. Ben Fisher. I think Rovers seem to have the making of him around the acting halfback because they're very slow to cover from square marker. But Dobson's going to bring in Kane, but he's well watched by Rinaldi. That's the knock on. Robins will get that one back. Bit fortunate, Ben Kane. It was the right idea, but I think in execution he'll probably look back and think maybe not on that occasion, but all's well that ends well. As Ben Kane packs down at prop next to Ben Fisher with David Mills on the near side prop. There's a mismatch if ever I've seen one. Feeding. Dobson then at first man brings in Chev Walker. She has a good step and a decent turn of speed off the mark. Got a man round his neck. I don't know if the grapple tackle rule exists in round 15. Doesn't seem to at the moment. The Robins then will carry on. They don't mind. Seem to be playing better with the ball in hand going forwards. Into the wind at the moment. Clint Newton and one of his trademark diagonal runs. Certainly takes some putting down. I think Dobson needs to get ball in hand on that first and second man and put a step in because they're not very quick at turning out the Harlequins. As I can see, it's Clint Newton again. Muscling forward, another good ball from Dobson. He's got the ball down, nearly. He tried. Very flat line the Robins. Paul Cook screaming for him to get back. With another short kick from Dobson. It was well wrapped up. That's a good tackle. And a dropout. Good kick and chase from the Robins. Much better start to the second half, really. Looks like they've had another bullet up the backside from Justin at half time, and they didn't do much wrong, to be fair, in the first half. Just a couple of lapses in concentration, but certainly attacking they seem a lot stronger this half already.
Rovers seem to have upped the pace this half. Started off very, very strongly early on in the second half, and it seems it's uplifted the crowd as well. Like the first half, crowd were a little bit flat, but certainly in full voice now. Rovers with Kane bringing it back over the 40-metre line. But Rovers have upped the pace this half, definitely, without a shadow of doubt. They're playing actually better with 12 men than they are with the 13. Certainly looking well and truly up for it. Ben Fisher out to Paul Cook, to Dobson, to Chester. Chester just straightens it up, looking for the offload. It was close. Now on the Harlequins 20, Chev Walker out to Dobson, to Kane, straightens it up, takes the tackle. Ben Fisher to Paul Cook. Cook looking. Oh, that had to be offside. There's no way he could have got to that ball without it being offside. Well, the linesman's giving it, yeah. Mr. Ganson now. So after a few words from the linesman, we were saying at half time that the linesman in this match have been very good actually. They've been picking up forward passes and just the linesman putting Mr. Ganson straight, which makes a nice change.
It's just as well they're here then, because Ganson's seen now, has he, so far? So the Robins then with more pressure. Jake Webster back on the field now. Of course, just the one Webster on the books for the Robins. As Dwayne Barker is looking to take the field, and here comes Dwayne. He was one of the biggest scapegoats I've ever seen at the Robins. I thought it was alright, was Dwayne, and came in for loads of stick week in, week out, but he's not letting bother him. I'm sure you're not allowed to pick a player up and dump him on the ground like that. I know he landed on his back, but he was 6 feet off the ground at one point. Anyway, the Robins not bothering with the referee today. They're just going to go through the motions and put this one to bed, I'm sure, in the next 10 or 15 minutes. Ben Fisher cops one around the lugs again. He ain't got cauliflower, he's got broccoli ears. Stanley Jean on the angle again. I think that angle, that's a good offload from Stanley Jean. There's Cookie! Oh, he should have probably given it to Webster. Not the heaviest of lads, isn't Paul Cook, for burrowing himself over from there. Not the greatest of kicks from Dobson, but he was under a lot of pressure then. The Harlequins looking to throw the ball around now. I don't think he'll thank him for that pass.
Substitution for Harlequins.
Sharif then brings the ball forward for the Harlequins, sorry.
Replacing number 27, Michael Warrency.
There's Dwayne Barker. Certainly he'll know some of these players, of course. Ben Kane. That is afro cut since the last was at Craven Park. I think Dwayne Barker looks a lot slimmer than he used to as well. So Super League training not doing him any harm, I don't think. Harlequins then getting their first real possession of the second half. Ben Fisher, good tackle on his opposite number, Rinaldi. The Harlequins just crossing halfway. Daniel will put the kick in. I think that'll probably run dead, that one. Yeah. See what the Harlequins are like holding the Robins out in their own half then. As I say, we've had 10 minutes of the second half. Robins leading 10 points to 8. Quick try at the beginning of the second half from Chris Chester. Off a suspiciously flat pass from Paul Cook. Ben Kane then bringing the ball forward at first man, playing prop at the moment is Ben. That's surely a grapple tackle. And another one from Haggerty. He needs to watch himself, I think. Or being pulled for a hard tackle. Oh, Ben Fisher could have just popped that one up to Sean Briscoe. Briscoe would have gone tearing himself away to the line then. It's a different... off the outside of the boot from Dobson. I don't know if he meant it. We'll say he did. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He seems quite an accomplished kicker of the ball. I don't think any of his other players really... That's surely an obstruction from the Harlequins man again, stood in the defensive line of the Robins, Dave.
Harlequins, how can I put it, getting away with murder and a penalty there. What can you say? I think we'll stop talking. He's given it for holding down there, but he couldn't get up anyway because he's injured. We're scratching our heads here at Mr. Ganson. We're going to have to stop going on about referees because he's getting silly now. But you've got to say, Rovers this half starting off as the mean business and playing on the fact that last season the Harlequins were one of the worst teams going into the second half of any team in Super League. All right, this season that seems to have cured itself in the early part of the season, but it has returned in recent weeks, albeit apart from when they played Hull last week. But Quins now following that very cheap penalty, bringing it away now. Rinaldi out to Hill. Good Robert. Good tackle there by Dobson. He seems to be getting in the thick of it in every way, shape and form, Michael Dobson. Oh, that was so far forward. We could see it from the angle up here, let alone being level with it. Good tackling there by Cocaine. Oh, and Jake Webster very close to the interception there. Took the man, ball and everything. And Harlequins do seem a little bit rattled at this point. But that's a decent kick. And tackle count's been waved off. Harlequins have got another 6 tackles here on the Rovers 10 metre line. Rinaldi to Ward. Danny Ward been a bit quiet in this match so far. Hope it stays that way because he has had a good start to the season for Harlequins. Rovers defence still looking quite solid there. Danny Mills in the tackle. Rinaldi going for the line. Danny Mills just says no thanks. Not coming through here. Not Danny Mills, sorry, it's David Mills. Getting all carried away up here in the gantry. Jake Webster with another great tackle. Play on. Rovers with a chance here. Fitzhenry going down the wing, back himself. Fitzhenry makes it to Rovers 45 metre line. Holding down. Harlequins player going straight to the sin bin. Mr. Ganson actually gets a decision right straight away for one.
I've always liked him, Dave. Spot on that, Mr. Ganson. Well done. Carry on, sir. Just tap it. Rovers not going to really gain any ground from that kick, are they? So, good 5 metres gained from Paul Cook there. Crossman then back on the field. He'll run at Danny Ward. Good legs from Garrett Crossman. Good drive. Interesting to know when he's held.
Garrett Crossman, and 20.
Dobson brings in Mick Vella. Vella again,
10,
is it?
David Mills, and 15, Banker Kane.
He's into the field for the Robins. Rovers looking to bring Dobson in at every possible chance. I think just getting as much time with ball in hand and just getting him used to the Rovers players and the moves and the cost of pitch and the surroundings, because I don't think he's played here before. I don't remember him playing here for Wigan. Certainly didn't play for the Catalan Dragons, so I remember Stacey Jones playing here against the Robins early on last season, I think. It's a great pass, but well spotted by the wingman from Harlequins. Dobson then puts one high, looking to use the wind, and Jake Webster! I don't know what the East Stand are cheering for there, but certainly I think Webster could do more. It was all he could do to drop that one, because it was in. I think he thought it was going to have a bit more of a challenge from the Harlequins defender and just put him off a little bit because he had the ball in his hands. Certainly a good kick from Michael Dobson, just short of the try line. It's a good run from Dwayne Barker as well, pumping off Crossman. That's got to be careful. Clint Newton round his head. Probably wants to let go now. Absolutely mile forward, but we'll give him that one, seeing as our first try of the second half was a mile forward as well. Momentum. There's no such thing, is there? It's made up. White elephant. Steve O's white elephant, the momentum rule. It's good play from the Harlequins. Good hands on the inside. And still keep it going as well. Dwayne Barker, that's an absolute screamer of a forward pass. But Peter Fox then needs to bring it across field. Oh, I think if he'd have stepped, he would have been away then. Dobson looking for the gap. Don't think he knew Briscoe was on his inside. You can't really tell the two apart when they stood next to each other. Apart from the numbers and names on the back, of course. Dobson telling Paul Cook to get out of the way. Telling him, I want this one. We'll go over there. So that's good to see. Not scared to boss the game either. Surely it's still obstruction if he has to push him out of the way. Oh, that's a great kick. Just a pitching wedge from Michael Dobson on that occasion, just stopping it dead on the line. That's a great kick. And Sharif getting away with nearly a voluntary tackle. It was quite a good game if you're neutral, this one, Dave, I think. I'm quite enjoying it, but for the fact that we're only leading by 2 points against the wind. But Harlequin's not really done anything with the kicking game this half. That's going to tempt fate. They're going to kick it 80 yards now and pin us right back, aren't they? But that's a good ball. And that's another good ball. So that was a little easy for him on that occasion. And we've got the numbers out wide now. Briscoe, he made the wrong decision. Henry Paul had men out wide, then Ricky Sharif one of them. So the Harlequins then have done for the Robins what we've been trying to do to them so far this half. But he's lost the ball there, Scott Hill. That's good for the Robins. Difficult to defend when they're running like that across you, behind you and spinning. We've got to give credit to the attacking player as well, because they're all Super League players. So, like I say, it turned out to be quite a good game this one if I want a Rovers fan.
It's a good match if you're a neutral, definitely, without a doubt. Rovers now bringing the ball away onto the 50-metre line. Peter Fox taking the tackle there. It was good attacking play from Harlequins there, but you've got to say the Rovers defence scrambled across rather well. Cut out the danger in the end, cut down Henry Paul's options. Paul Cook sends it out really wide. Briscoe bringing the ball away to Thompson. He's got support with Vella. Vella, has he got the legs? Has he got the legs? He's going. Oh, he'd have been better off keeping the ball. Play on, says Mr. Ganson. Rovers held up right on the line there. Ben Fisher spread it out wide. Oh, well, he's given a penalty to Rovers. It should be another 10 minutes in the sin bin there, because it stopped a try-scoring opportunity. Paul Cook now to Garrett Crossman. Garrett Crossman runs round, goes straight towards the line, straightens it up, Four Harlequins players needed to bring him down. They need to bring it on the left-hand side. They've got the overlap. If they can see it, Paul Cook misses it out because it's a Stanley Jean. Stanley Jean straight in. Brilliant try there, Rovers. Even hasn't got the conversion himself as well. Great try there by Rovers. Try all the way there, Charlie, because he had the overlap. Stanley Jean goes, don't need the overlap, I'll have it myself.
A great build-up from the Robins. Briscoe bringing in Dobson. Vella as well, showing a clean pair of heels. We know he's got pace. Dave was saying, has he got the legs? I don't know anybody with legs like his this, to be fair. They're about as long as I am, but that's surely now Rovers really in the ascendancy. Hopefully now putting this game, well, not to bed just yet. There's only still 6 points in it, but starting the way this half's going, you can't see the Harlequins coming back at the minute.
Yeah, Mick Vella there, sprinting down the line. His nickname at the club is Tronny. I can't think why. Certainly had the pace there. It was just unfortunate he couldn't score himself, but Stanley Jean straight in. Paul Cook now with hopefully a relatively straightforward conversion, Charlie.
Yeah, apparently Mick Vella's called Tranny because he likes listening to the radio, by all accounts. Yeah, nothing to do with Freddie Mercury Tash and the pink dress and the Hoover. No. It's Paul Cook. Oh! He's whistled that one in, so that's another great kick. This stretches the Robins lead to 8 points. As we've got about 20 minutes left in this game. Harlequins are going to need to do something now because they're under the cosh a little bit from the Robins. Then Vella then brings the ball forward for the Robins with his own try line.
The score is sponsored by Lloyds TSB. Number 6, Paul Cook.
They certainly seem to be up for it in this second half, the Robins. I can't remember Stanley Jean having played this many minutes in a game for a long while, so
Substitution
certainly
Rovers, number
flying
15,
in.
Ben Duquesne, replacing 11, Clint Newton.
Clint Newton has a rest, brings in Ben Cockayne to replace him, does Justin Morgan. Daniel Fitzhenry nearly making a breakthrough there again. There's another great ball, that's Chev Walker. That's a good tackle though from the Harlequins. They've done well there. There's no square markers for the Harlequins, which is strange. I thought you had to have square markers in the game. That's something I'll have to check up in my little book of rugby rules when I get home. Jake Webster spotting that the player was going to go through a gap then and wrapping him up well. Well aided as well by Stanley Jean. The Sharif then, seeing what he can do for his team. Jake Webster's been he seems to be a bit annoyed today and he's been a bit mean. I certainly won't want to pick a fight with him, would you, Dave?
Certainly won't want to meet him in this mode. He's certainly wound up, he's certainly up for the match. Might not have shown too much in the attacking. Harlequins have kept him quiet, but defensively he's been very mean, very nasty, and I certainly wouldn't want to be facing him. As they say, he's a big unit, is Jake Webster, and he has pace. Harlequins here struggling a little bit. Rovers definitely have upped the pace. Henry Paul puts it out wide to Sharif. He's looking to do the kick, but that's going to go dead easy. Briscoe just having a watching brief, just watching the ball go over the dead ball line. But Rovers definitely well on top in this second half so far. They've upped the pace, they've upped the defence. Quins haven't really had an answer to it so far, Charlie.
No, absolutely not. You saw then the ball came out on the last tackle to Joe Mabou and he froze. He didn't know what to do with it. He didn't know how to kick it. He didn't know what. So he gave it to Danny Orr. He tried to spin the ball out wide and Sharif just fluffed his lines at the last minute. Didn't really have much to do, to be fair. He was sort of cornered. Had to chip ahead, but it just wasn't a very good one. I'd like to see some of our flyers get a bit of space. Rovers have made some breaks this season, but for some reason it's always been a forward on the end of the final pass, and I'd like to see the likes of Daniel Fitzhenry and Peter Fox get a ball on the halfway line. The only one I can remember is Fox at Catalan, I think. That's the only one. And of course, Jake Webster against Hull FC in the derby at Craven Park. That was a nice one. Webster then puts another back spinning kick there. Back spin into the wind. And he still makes 30 yards. That's a good kick. And the chase is alright as well. It's always a good chase when the player has to run across the field. Surely can't penalise Rovers for that one there. Harlequins did exactly the same earlier on in the game. It's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. So they say, about 60 years ago, that's so.
Substitution for Harlequins.
Penalty to the Harlequins. Referee Ganson not knowing what to do there, so I think she'll give a penalty. Was it a knock-on? Was it pulled out? I don't think anyone really knew, so of course, give the benefit of the doubt on the 50-yard advantage to the attacking side. It's a good kick then from the Harlequins. They'll be looking to put some points on the board in the second half. Still only 8 points adrift. And considering they've maybe been in Robin's half maybe once, twice in the half already, they know what they can do, and they did it in the first half on very few attacks, scored a couple of tries. It's Haggerty then. He's been a stroppy little mare, as he today, and should have been in the sin bin at least once, yeah. You can tell who his dad is though, the way he runs and the way he stands. He's a bit more portly than his dad used to be. Roy Haggerty, of course, a St Helens player. That's a great tackle from Jake Webster. Just what we were saying. Just having a word in Danny Orr's ear as well, as if to say, don't run at me, I'll hurt you. And I think Danny Orr would be well advanced to take heed. It's Scott Hill again. I've never seen him play so bad, to be fair. Certainly when he was at Melbourne, he was one of the best standoffs in the world, but Harlequins seem to have killed him. Just ruined him. Yeah, apart from last week, which was great, and he was absolutely brilliant. Fox then, he's a strong runner. Just needs, if he can just get away, just break that first tackle, then he's going to go all the way. There's nobody can stop him. Excuse me. Rovers then through Ben Fisher again. From acting half, not a finger laid on him. Haggerty, not interested at all. He's got his bread boots on, but certainly there's no fire in his feet today. As Paul Cook even looks for a sidestep. You know the sliding defence is slow when Paul Cook can sidestep and go through a gap, as he did at the beginning of the second half for Chester's try. Dobson again putting the kick through. Just peppering Sharif with these balls. He'll drop one of them, but then if he gets away he'll score as well. Another absolute flyer for Harlequins.
Newton replacing 20 Midfeller.
And Dobson making a double tackle there. I'll tell you what, I don't think he'd be far off man of the match, Dave, for me.
Well, he's been involved in every bit part of the match so far. He's got a good kicking game. There's been a couple of kicks in first half, which, if it hadn't been for the win, possibly there'd have been 2 40-20 kicks that would have been right in the corner. He scored a try. He's been involved in everything. He's been involved defensively. Everything good offensively has come from him. You know, he's done everything today, so I think he's in with a very, very good shout of man of the match, and he's given Rovers a bit of impetus this second half. Who's underneath it? Oh, he'll go dead. It's okay. In fact, the Harlequins chaser. Harlequins looking 6s and 7s this second half. It seems as though what haunted them last season with poor second half performances has returned to haunt them a little bit. But you've got to give credit to Rovers. They've come out this second half. They've got stuck in. Defence has been sound, and they've looked up for it offensively. They've had a bit of variation, little kicks over. But really, Rovers could have had a few more tries. Think again now, spins out the first tackle, little offload. It might have been better to keep hold of it, but Paul Cook picks it up, offloads it. Just need to steady it up here. Oh, what are we talking about? Oh, Peter Fox was through. Peter Fox broke through, he was clean away, but Mr. Ganson's brought it back for supposedly an obstruction. Well, I have to admit, I'm scratching my head there a little bit, because Quins on a number of occasions have done exactly the same thing and not been penalised. Rovers, first time they do it, they get penalised. Harlequins, well, in the words of me auntie, that was divine retribution there. Rovers getting the ball back, more or less straight away from the first tackle. Stanley Dean bursting through. Briscoe just waiting for the offload, not quite there. Ben Fisher, he had to be offside there, Danny Orr. Couldn't have been standing there, square there, Charlie. There's no way that he could have been to get the tackle in so early. But Rovers now bringing it away. Clint Newton, great drive there from Clint Newton. What we've come to expect from the lad. He's got ball skills, he's got pace, and he's got great strength. Fitzhenry now. bringing it down to the Harlequins 32 metre line. Ben Fisher offloads it to Paul Cook. Good kick right into the corner. Great kick there from Paul Cook. Playing the percentages quite well now, Rovers. Keeping Harlequins pinned down in their own half. Which is all good, isn't it, Charlie?
Yeah, if you didn't know there was a strong wind, you'd think, well, if you were someone said to you there's a strong wind in this half, you'd think it was going the other way, because Harlequins have really dragged their heels. But for that one break coming forward.
8,084.
And a good attendance for the Robins today as well.
Thank you for your support of the game today.
8,084, and I think if you get a chance to have a look at the North Stand, I think there's, I wouldn't even say a dozen Harlequin fans in that stand. Yeah, minibus, half full minibus. Did they come on a skateboard, Dave? That's what we've got to ask them. So 8,084, probably 8,075 Rovers fans, and the rest Harlequins and a couple of neutrals, I think. So that's a great attendance. Yeah, considering there was a certain football match on yesterday. Congratulations to Hull City, of course. Just making their ground share colleagues at the ground of the KC Stadium look even worse than they already are this season, of course. Harlequins again looking to spin that ball out, but certainly Joe Mabou, if he ain't got somebody to run at, he doesn't really know what else to do with the ball in hand. And he's a mile offside there, so if he tackles the man within 10 yards, he's should have given it to Foxy Briscoe then. Foxy Briscoe, that's Foxy Bingo. Yeah, I think they should have brought Peter Fox in there. He really is going to let rip one of these days, isn't he, and just break the tackle, as we saw a few minutes ago when he did do it. Another good strong drive from David Mills. And Daniel Fitzhenry, that man's not square, ref.
27, Michael Warranty replacing.
It's good to see though when the referees played as poorly as as far as I'm concerned, Ganson has. He hasn't been certainly as bad as some of the ones we've had this season, but he still hasn't been brilliant. And the Robins still 8 points to the good with a little under 10 minutes to go. Oh, that's a blatant trip! Absolute blatant trip from the Harlequins man there. Stuck his leg out backwards. If he doesn't get cited for that, that's shocking. Just having a drink now, Joe Mabou it was, that was cynical. Dobson's limping a little bit there as well. Well, there's another obstruction, referee. Just about got away with that one, I think. Let the ball go just before he crossed the man. Robins now don't want to let Harlequins score in this set, because that would really set it up, and it wouldn't be anything that they deserve, to be fair. It's alright, he can't pass. Get him in touch. Brilliant defence, Rovers. Great defence from the Robins. I think that particular tackle there just summed up the two teams, Dave. Robins with all the fire in the belly, really wanting to actually get stuck into the man. Harlequins, 3 or 4 men stood around, just watched the player get pushed into touch.
That's quite right there. Quite enthusiasm there from the Rovers defence. And it's fired up the stand again as well.
It's a family game, and respectfully request that you refrain from using
Brilliant defence from Rovers, and that's been a big difference this half. Cut out the silly little mistakes, tried to cut out as many penalties as possible, although Mr Ganson seems to be intent on giving Harlequins as much chance as possible. But Rovers this half, you can't really fault them, really. I mean, they've played some brilliant stuff. As Charlie said in that last set from Rovers, Michael Dobson with a brilliant little kick through. Oh, that was ripped out. Stanley Jean, it's going to be waved off. Fresh set of 6. And another tackle around Stanley Jean's head, although he is quite short, so it's not that difficult to get him around it. Oh, Mr Ganson's finally given one. I think Ganson's just given that penalty because he should have given the one from on Stanley Jean. Paul Cook, quick tap. But Michael Dobson, as we've been saying, brilliant kick through, and he blatantly tripped. I just heard Clint Newton a few weeks ago when we played Bradford got cited midweek, on the video. But Michael Dobson now going for the corner. Oh, into touch. Great play though.
Yeah, good play again from Rovers. Jake Webster, Michael Dobson. Dobbo just putting his foot into touch, getting a pat on the head from Stanley Genus. I think just the enthusiasm and getting a pat on the back from the lads. So he's one of the lads already. That's great to see as well. Said in the paper, did Justin Morgan, that Dobson straight off the plane went to training sessions just to have a look round, and they were taking the mick out of him after about 10 minutes. So he knew that he was one of the lads by then. Like I say, 16 points to 8 the Robins lead now. There's 5 minutes or so left in the game, and it's certainly ain't an 8-point game this. Like you said earlier, Dave, Ganson's been hell-bent on keeping Harlequins in this game by hook or by crook, and he's spoiled what has been a good game, to be fair, and it could have been an even better game if he'd let us score loads of points.
Well, yeah, if you could let certain play go through. I mean, the one that really stands out in recent memory is where Peter Fox was clean through and he was away, and he brought it back for obstruction, and you just think to yourself, hang on a minute, Harlequins have been doing that all game. Why? Yes, exactly, why? Oh, Rovers knock on there. Clint Newton gets the ball, straightens it up, goes on a run. Oh, come on Rovers, you've got to help him out there. And what's Mr. Ganson giving? It's a scrum to Rovers, no advantage there. It's amazing. Mr. Ganson stands to give some back our way now.
I think Clint Newton would have probably been happy with him to give the decision before he got absolutely squashed to pieces then. Yeah, thanks a lot, sir. 4 forwards sat on his forehead. No advantage. He's rubbish, isn't he? I don't know why they bother with refs. They might as well just go at it themselves. Proper scrum. I saw one in the NRL a couple of weeks ago, actually, against the head. Yeah, I think the... Is it time for the scrums to be totally removed altogether? I think so. A tap. It's either a penalty or play on, either way. I just looked at that scrum there, Dave, and I could have picked out 3 or 4 infringements on either side there. Here we go. Mr. Ganson just going through the motions and even in the tackle, the penalty count up, so it looks good on his report in the League Express tomorrow. Looks like he's been very fair. Be interesting to see what the count is. I think I'll tell you what, Dave, how these put 40 past us 3, 4, 5 weeks ago is it's beyond me. We must have had a really bad day, because these have been absolutely shocking. I mean, to be fair, we've only put 16 past them ourselves today, but like we said, it's been helped. Obstruction! Not going to happen, is it? Good defence from the Robins, pushing him back. We've got 2 or 3 minutes left. Still a bit of a nervy finish for the Robins. If the Harlequins was to nip a score here, then they'll be set up for a bit of a finish. Like I said, throwing the ball around a bit and making some ground on that occasion. A couple of tackles left in the set, so they've got to be careful, Rovers. It really wouldn't be justified if they scored here, because they haven't got a clue what they're doing. That's a great tackle again. I think we might... Jake Webster, just for his defence, man of the match today, I think. That's another great tackle. And he's held up on the last tackle. That'll be the handover then. Great defence from the Robins. Michael Dobson, Daniel Fitzhenry, Jake Webster on the inside. Defence has won us the game today, Dave, apart from the 2 slip-ups in the first half. They haven't really looked like bothering, have they?
Considering Harlequins have got some good players, the match, it could have been anyone from 3. It could have been Michael Dobson, Jake Webster, or Clint Newton. Take your pick from the 3 there, Charlie. But when you consider Harlequins have got some great ball playing players. Oh, another time tackle! Come on, Mr. Ganson, it's about time he did something about this, because they've been doing handballs right through the game. And let me guess, he's going to put him on report again. No, he doesn't even do that. Shocking, absolutely shocking. It's probably my fault, because I think I've probably been praising Mr. Ganson a bit too much recently, saying he's been giving 1 or 2 seasons too much. David Mills with a great run there. But second half performance here from Rovers has been very, very good. Great defence, good offence, and it's all looking good. I mean, we wanted a response after last week, and we've got it. Bear in mind, last night Huddersfield got hammered 48 points to 0 by Catalan. Shows you how bad Rovers must have been last week, and they were bad. Stanley Genie just won't be put down. He's still running. He's got support. Still got support. Michael Dobson kicks it on. It's a try. Michael Dobson right underneath the post. What a great try. Stanley Gene just won't be put down. Offloaded to Liam Watts went. There you go, Michael Dobson. See what you can do with that. Michael Dobson just kicks it on. Plays it off the post. Straight in. Great try. No more than Rovers declared.
Try for Hull Kingston Rovers in the 79th minute.
Second half performance here for Rovers has been
with a debut for number 26, Michael Dobson.
Michael Dobson's second try. No more than Rovers declared. And Paul Cook now with a relatively straightforward kick right in front of the post. The East Stand responding to it, giving it the full Johnny Cash treatment. But it's been good news all this week for Rovers. Michael Vella signing a contract to the end of 2011. Ben Fisher, after speculation he could have been going to Bradford Bulls, he's re-signed, and of course, so we've been told, although this is very much unofficial, the team that we don't like to talk about from the west side of the city actually offered Justinio the coach's role there. And I took your money well, but luckily Justinio apparently said to them, I'm a red and white through and through. I've already turned down seats this season. Why the heck would I want to go? You guys.
And the 2 points for Hull Kingston Rovers.
It's exciting times here.
The scorer, number 6, Paul.
Stanley Gene with a little mistake there. But it must be more up to the full-time whistle. We're unofficially official on Charlie's watch here. It's saying time is up. So this should be the last play of the match, really. 22 points to 8, looking a bit more like the scoreline it should be, really. But I'd just like to thank you, Charlie, for inviting us to commentate again. Hopefully it's come across quite well. Oh, harliquins with another knock-on. That's been the story of their half. Rovers now with the ball. Full time has just gone. As I say, a great second half performance here by Rovers. And maybe I'm the lucky charm, because every time I've been up here, Rovers have won.
Final score here
up here today, you were down there last week. Yeah, final score then.
Kingston Rovers 22.
Scott Morrell looks injured, he's got his arm in a sling. I wondered where he'd gone actually, he must have gone off early doors. We didn't miss him though, it must be rubbish. So the Robins then
the next game on the road to
job well done, I think.
Sunday 1st of June, the kick-off is 3 p.m.
And the stewards are out to stop the Harlequin players, fans running onto the pitch.
So you can
the stewards and fans.
From just £17 per
So good game for the Robins then. 4 tries for the Robins. 2 to Michael Dobson, Chris Chester and Stanley Gene getting on the board as well. 3 kicks from Paul Cook. Just a couple of tries in the first half for the Harlequins, but didn't really threaten much. Could have been a lot more for the Robins if it wasn't for Steve Benson. Adam Samuel Handforth. Dave Webber, I think, is in a sterling job in Mike Sexton's absence. Final score then, Hull Kingston Rovers 22, Harlequins Rugby League 8.
Journalists, we can't call it weekends. Have a safe